Welcome to Stoic Daily Stoicism. In today's video, we're diving deep into a subject that most men overlook until it's far too late. Some women don't just damage relationships, they dismantle men from the inside out. The most dangerous part, many men don't even recognize what's happening until they've already lost themselves. These women don't always strike with obvious cruelty. Instead, they operate through subtlety, charm, and psychological tactics so refined that you question your own sense of reality. What begins as affection and admiration can quickly unravel into confusion, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. Today, I'll break down the 6 most toxic archetypes you may encounter: the master manipulator, the attention addict, the emotional vampire, the disrespectful partner, the queen of drama, and the self-serving lover. I'll not only explain how they operate, but also reveal the hidden psychological hooks they use to keep you trapped. And most importantly, I'll show you how to reclaim your power through Stoic wisdom. So stay with me until the very end, because understanding these patterns could save you years of wasted time, emotional pain, and inner destruction. 1. The master manipulator. At first glance, the master manipulator doesn't look dangerous at all. She often comes across as sweet, empathetic, and deeply understanding. She'll listen intently, agree with your opinions, and make you feel as if you've finally found the woman who sees you for who you really are. But beneath this carefully constructed mask lies an entirely different reality. She isn't interested in partnership, she's interested in control. And she achieves this not by dominating you outright, but by bending your perception of truth itself. The most insidious weapon she uses is gaslighting. You'll bring up something she said last week and she deny it with unwavering confidence. You'll recall a specific event, but she'll claim it happened differently. She may even insist that you're imagining things, or that you're simply too sensitive. At first, you resist. You argue, present facts, insist that your memory is accurate. But the longer this continues, the more you begin to doubt yourself. You wonder, am I misremembering? Am I overreacting? Could she be right? This is how your inner compass gets dismantled, one small doubt at a time. Over weeks and months, you stop challenging her narrative altogether. Instead, you begin apologizing for things that weren't even your fault. You start questioning not just your memory, but your very ability to judge reality. And once your self-trust erodes, you're vulnerable to complete psychological capture. From a Stoic perspective, Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "If someone can prove me wrong, I'll gladly change, for I seek truth, not victory." But with the manipulator, truth is deliberately distorted. Her goal isn't mutual understanding, it's dominance. She thrives when you fall silent. Your silence is her victory. Every time you withhold your truth to avoid conflict, she tightens her grip on your reality. Eventually, you realize that your entire world revolves around her moods and her narratives. You no longer stand firm in your principles. You adapt, twist, and bend, all in the hope of keeping the peace. But peace never comes, because peace isn't her aim. Control is. The only way to escape a manipulator is to reclaim what Epictetus called your ruling faculty, the inner power to discern truth, to trust your perception, and to stand firm in your reality. Without that, you'll be trapped in her illusion indefinitely. 2. The attention addict. Like the manipulator, the attention addict isn't subtle about her hunger. She lives and breathes for validation, and no matter how much you give her, it's never enough. At first, she might seem bubbly, charming, even confident. You might think, wow, she really carries herself with pride. But what looks like self-esteem is nothing more than a bottomless craving for attention. She wants compliments, likes, comments, stares, messages, and endless reminders that she's desirable. If your focus shifts away from her for even a moment, she feels neglected and unloved. You can shower her with affection every single day, yet the instant she doesn't feel like the center of your universe, she crumbles, or worse, she seeks validation elsewhere. This is why attention addicts are notorious for constantly seeking outside engagement. She may have ex-boyfriends still orbiting in her inbox. She may post revealing photos online not to share life, but to collect likes and fire emojis from strangers. Even when you're giving her love, she compares it to what others provide. And here's the kicker. Your attention becomes ordinary. Over time, she normalizes it. But the attention of strangers, that always feels fresh, exciting, intoxicating. Soon, you find yourself competing against a faceless crowd for her affection, and when you question her about it, she accuses you of being insecure, controlling, or jealous. In other words, she flips the blame so that you become the villain. But understand this, you cannot outgive her emptiness. You cannot pour enough validation into a woman who refuses to find wholeness within herself. The Stoics teach us to root our worth in our character, not in the opinions of others. The attention addict does the opposite. She outsources her self-worth to the world, which means she always remains a prisoner of external validation. And if you tie your worth to her, you'll be dragged into that prison right alongside her. 3. The emotional vampire. Now, let's talk about the emotional vampire. The woman who doesn't just drain your time or energy, but siphons your very spirit until you feel like a hollow shell of yourself. At the beginning, she feels magnetic. She's intense, passionate, and pulls you into deep conversations that feel like no one else has ever understood you that way before. But soon you realize that intensity comes with a cost. The emotional vampire thrives on conflict, chaos, and emotional storms. If things are calm, she feels restless. If life is steady, she feels empty. And so, consciously or unconsciously, she manufactures drama to keep herself alive. One day she's loving and affectionate. The next, she's cold, distant, and angry, often for reasons you don't even understand. This unpredictability keeps you walking on eggshells, constantly scanning for signs of what might set her off next. She doesn't just take from you during fights. She drains you constantly. Even her vulnerability can be a trap. She may share deep traumas, but not as a way to heal. Instead, it becomes a chain to bind you into the role of savior. Soon, your entire emotional world revolves around keeping her calm, soothing her storms, and sacrificing your peace to stabilize hers. But here's the Stoic truth. You cannot save someone who is addicted to chaos, Seneca said. He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. When you remain in the orbit of an emotional vampire, you suffer storms that don't even belong to you. And eventually, you lose the strength to carry your own burdens because you're too busy carrying hers. 4. The disrespectful partner respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without it, love rots, and the disrespectful partner ensures that rot spreads quickly. At first, you might dismiss her behavior as playful teasing or harmless sarcasm. But soon, those jokes turn into consistent belittlement. She mocks your goals, criticizes your efforts, or makes jokes at your expense in front of others. Every insult chips away at your dignity, and the more you allow it, the bolder she becomes. She violates boundaries without hesitation. If you say something is off limits, she pushes anyway, checking your phone, dictating how you spend time, or mocking your friendships. When you call her out, she turns it back on you, labeling you controlling or insecure. But the damage is clear. Your self-respect is eroding. The Stoics valued dignity above all. Epictetus reminded his students, "You may chain my body, but you cannot enslave my will." Yet when you remain with someone who persistently disrespects you, you begin enslaving yourself by tolerating it. The longer you stay, the more you adapt your behavior just to avoid criticism. You silence your opinions, shrink your ambitions, and erase parts of yourself just to maintain peace. But here's the reality. Peace built on disrespect isn't peace. It's quiet despair. 5. The Queen of Drama IFA.com feels like oxygen to you. The Queen of Drama feels suffocated by it. For her, chaos isn't an accident, it's a necessity. At first, her fiery energy might seem exciting. You mistake turbulence for passion. But soon you realize she doesn't just stumble into drama, she creates it. Every relationship in her life seems filled with conflict. Family, friends, coworkers, she's always telling stories of betrayal, arguments, or some crisis that demands immediate attention. And when her personal life is calm, she creates drama within the relationship itself. She may accuse you of things you never did, pick fights before important events, or manufacture jealousy by mentioning other men. Why? Because drama gives her adrenaline. Conflict makes her feel alive. And the more you react, the more she feels in control. Even if you try to calm her, that effort feeds her hunger because it means you're fully engaged in her storm. This constant turbulence reconditions your brain. You begin expecting chaos. You lose your sense of normal, and before long, you can't even remember what true peace feels like. But here's the Stoic perspective. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the mastery of self regardless of conflict. The queen of drama has no mastery over herself, which means she drags everyone around her into turmoil. The longer you stay, the more you confuse survival for passion, and that's one of the greatest dangers of all. 6. The self-serving lover finally. We